My name is Sylvia.
My name is Alan.
We were raised in different cultures, values, and beliefs. We are just going to talk about
The differences.
Yes, how we were raised.
Different way Sylvia was raised, the different way I was raised.
Right. First time driving. Who taught you how to drive? How old were you when you owned your first car? Who bought it for you?
Well, first of all, I had a motorbike. It was called a moped because it had pedals on it. So I had that until I was probably 17, and then I had an accident. So then I bought a car because I had to buy my own car. It cost me £25. I bought a mini, little
25 quid.
Yeah.
A mini.
Yeah, a mini 850, and I bought that off a bloke down the road. And my dad was teaching me to drive, and then he wasn't teaching me properly how to drive. So then when I took lessons, they taught me properly how to drive, and then I passed my test. How old I was when I passed my test, I couldn't tell you. All I know is I was probably 18 when I started driving, because I used to drive backwards and forwards to work. Because I got the job in the same company as my dad was working in. And so we used to drive, I'd have learner plates on. In England, you have learner plates on, and you've got a learner's licence. As long as there's a person sitting by the side of you who's got a full licence. Plus, I had to buy my own insurance as well. I had to buy my own car insurance, and I had to pay for my own car and my own petrol. And so I used to drive us back and forth to work.
For me, first time driving, I was in my 20s. It was actually a boyfriend's car. He was kind of teaching me how to drive. That was the first person who taught me how to drive. And after that, my first car, I bought it in England.
Oh
Late
yeah, I remember
20s.
that one.
When I bought that car, you know the car.
Yeah.
Did we go together to the auction?
No, that's how. Because I was surprised you got a good car. Because a guy.
That was before I met you.
Yeah, a guy called Malcolm Lawrence, my best friend. He used to go to auctions, and I think he used to buy the car that everybody stripped down to make a good car. And he used to pay a fortune for this car. And when he bought it to me to say, "What can we do with it?" It was
So when you met me, I had a Fiat Uno.
Yeah, and it was a good
Fiat
buy.
Uno.
It was a good buy.
So that was my first car. I bought it myself in London.
How much did you pay for it?
How much?
Yeah.
400.
400 quid.
Close to 400 quid. That's what I paid for it. And that was the car. I bought it myself. First time flying, you already said something about you were 15 years old when you flew. So I just talk about me because you already said that you were 15. I was in my 20s again. Around the same time I started driving, I flew from Harare to Bulawayo. That was my first flight ever.
And how many hours was that?
I think Harare to Bulawayo is it 2 hours, 1 hour? That was
a bit
my
like
first.
if you're in England flying around Europe.
Yeah, but my long flight was when I
come to England.
came to England in late 90s.
That's about 10 hours, 12 hours.
That was
10 hour
the
one
first
way,
time.
1 hour the other.
And I flew Lufthansa. I was like, oh my God, it was like I was in heaven. It was, it's first time to experience I didn't even know how to put my,
Headphones.
I had to ask lucky enough, I wasn't shy. I just asked the air
Steward.
hostess.
Yes.
Yeah, air hostess, they were showing me. And then I was surprised that they're actually giving me food, To me, it was like luxury. First time, first experience. Okay, growing up in your household, did you ever discuss or did you ever hear your parents discussing racial,
No.
stuff, like talking bad about not races, other cultures?
Well, no, yes I did, about the Indians in Southall. Because Southall was a very rich place. And when they came, the roofs were falling in, they just let the place go downhill.
So you hear your parents talking about
the Indians in Southall, how good it was there. It was a very expensive place to be.
But now the Indians have ruined it.
At that point in time, they ruined it. Obviously, later on, as they became westernised, they remodernised it all and made it really nice again. But
so did you hang out with black people when you were growing up?
No, because they weren't in the school.
So your school
Southall was
white.
a little way. Yeah, Southall was a little way away.
What about down your street? Was there any Indian or black person?
No, not when I was there.
When you were no?
No.
Okay, so for me, we never really talked about it because I grew up in a black community, black school. Everything was black, you know, Africa. We do have white people. Even now, we have a lot of white Zimbabweans born in Zimbabwe, because for those who don't know history, we were colonized by English people, and our prime minister, who I actually remember growing up, Ian Smith, was British. So when I went to school, I wrote Cambridge O level. That's why when I came to England, it was easy for me to get into nursing. I just showed them my certificate, O level, and I got in. I didn't have to take any prerequisites, nothing. So we did have white people, but there was segregation. White people live over here, black people live over.
And also you couldn't go down certain streets, could you?
No, we couldn't. First Street, we couldn't. It was just
whites only.
Whites only, unless if you are cleaning for them or if you work there. That's
but you couldn't go down to the shops.
Oh yeah, you couldn't go. I remember as a little girl, we could only get clothes from this area called the Market Square. That's a black people's area where you buy clothes. So my parents would buy me clothes for Christmas at the Market Square, that area. There was a lot of Indian shops.
Yeah. So
that's where you do your shopping. What about clothes? Did they buy you clothes? How often per year? Because I only got clothes Christmas time. That's it.
No, they must have bought me clothes whenever. I remember I was at school and there was a new pair of shoes come out and say, "Oh, Mum, there's this new Taffa loafers. You've got to get me these." So we went round the shops. I mean, she wouldn't necessarily buy the Taffa loafers. She'd buy a different make. It was cheaper, but I'll get the shoes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's different. Then, did you ever witness your parents arguing in front of you or fight? We will answer these questions in the next video, part 5. So stay tuned.